Hey everyone, this is me, Chris Bell. I have had a passion for real estate investing for about 10 to 15 years, and I have 4 pieces of real estate, all in New Hampshire. I live in this house here, and I rent out all 3 of these. And I want to go over exactly how I look at buying one of these condos and how I determine if it's a good price and how I'm going to make money every year before I purchase it. So I'm going to pick a completely random area, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, just so that you know that I don't already understand this market. I have no idea what this market is like right now. I don't know if it's selling for cheap or not. I'm just going to look at a 2-bedroom apartment style condo and see what they're renting for and what they're selling for and try to determine if I would be able to rent one for a decent enough profit. Everything for sale, 2 bedrooms, no houses, no townhouses. Well, yeah, sure, townhouses, doesn't matter. Alright, so the cheapest one here, we're in the cheapest. 52, 56, 56, 60, 60. A couple of these look decent for 64, 65. The market seems to be very cheap. Just because this is 60,000, someone may be able to just drop $60,000, but you have to make 20% or 10% on the money that you put down. So if you put down 60, you have to make 10% on that number. If you only put a down payment of 10 to 12,000, you would only have to make 10% on that number. So I've created a little Excel sheet here so that when I'll type in the purchase price now, 60, and the down payment is already set up to 20%. Closing costs we'll say are 5,000 because you have to consider that. So this is the number that you're going to be putting down, 17%. You're not going to be moving into this, you're just going to rent it out right away. So this 1,700 number is 10% of these two together, and it changes as I change this number. So if I do another one, you'll see. So that's 10%, and that just divides it by 12. So $142 per month is what you want to make in order to make 10% on your money. If you read any investment book or take any investment advice or finance advice from anyone in the world, they'll tell you that when you save your money, if you invest it in something, you should make at least 10% on your money. And supposedly over the last 100 years and even more, the stock market has, with dividends and appreciation, has returned about 10%. But a lot of people are scared of that. They like to see the real estate. And if you wanted to invest in real estate, you want to do the same thing. If you were going to buy this entire condo in cash, your down payment would be $60,000. Your closing costs would be about the same. You would need to make $6,500 per year, but you would not have a mortgage, so you'd make a little bit more money per month. So $550 per month compared to a down payment. You only have to make $142 per month. That means you could buy 5 condos with your $17,000 down instead of putting all 60 into this one condo and trying to make all of your money. But if you can invest $60,000 and you know that you're going to be able to make this amount of money, then it's a great idea. Invest as much as you can. But when you add it up and you change it to, if you change this number to 70,000, oops, you're going to have to make even more. So just make sure that you're going to make more than 10% on your deal. I like to make at least 15 to 20%. Because I can find 10% deals all the time. I have a feeling I'm going to be able to find one right now. Now let's go to rentals. We'll assume 60,000. That's all high end. You can get anything here for 60,000. Even a nice townhouse like this. I haven't even looked at the inside. You don't really need to look at that much to do the numbers on something like this. 65,000. As long as it's in decent shape, it'll be enough for this video. Sure. This looks like it could rent for basic value. The bathroom's nice, the kitchen was nice, it's got a nice little outdoor spot. So let's scroll down a little bit, look for the HOA fee. 260 days on Zillow, it seems. I'm going to do a different one, 65,000. Here we go, HOA fee, 374, that sounds high. It's very high actually. Let's try this one, 60,000. since I used 60 in the Excel sheet already. Well, let's look in the inside real quick, make sure it's okay. Well, it's got a pool. I mean, the inside's okay. It could be spiced up a little, but all the prices seem so low right now. I'm interested to see what the rentals are going to be. $283 condo fee. So these are the three things that you want to look at right here. You want the mortgage, which we'll do in a second on 60,000. Well, minus 12, so we'll do it on 48,000. We'll get the mortgage payment, the taxes, and the condo fee. Those are the three things that you're going to really want to look at because those are fixed monthly costs. You can add in a little bit of maintenance, but we'll determine if this number is way over the 142 number, then you can know that you're going to make enough to cover the maintenance along the way. But if this is exactly 142, then you're probably going to make less than 10% on this because you're going to have a little bit of maintenance along the way. But it's impossible to figure out that number. You just want to make sure you're making way more than 10%, closer to 15 or 20, and then you'll be fine. You can scroll down on Zillow and look at the taxes as well. Tax history. Tax history. Tax assessment, property taxes, 437. I'm sure there's at least $100 in taxes. That's $1,200 per year. So this is only $400 per year. They're assessing this really low. I'll put $100 a month just to be safe, but you'd have to figure that out. You'd have to ask them. And we need to do a mortgage. I have a mortgage calculator up here too. Very simple mortgage calculator, 48,000 after your down payment. 5% is a high interest rate as it is. 258. Put it in here, 258. And we got to figure out what the rent is because we were at minus right here. This is the monthly principal. I already calculated it up here based on a loan of 48,000. The interest is 5%. And I subtracted it from the total payment here, and you get the monthly principal. So $200 go to interest in the first payment, and $58 go toward principal. And you're going to be making that money. It's not cash flow. You're not going to see it, but you are making that money. So the mortgage is figured out. The taxes are figured out. The rent. Let's go back to Zillow. Stay in South Carolina. Change everything. Not for sale. For rent. There's 80 rentals. Stick with a 2-bedroom. Stick with the same settings over here. Let's go low to high. The absolute lowest, it looks like a set of apartments right here are renting for $795 plus. This 800 does not look good, but it's big. 2,600 square feet. This looks a little more comparable. $825. Oof. Not loving the real estate here in the low section of Myrtle Beach. No pictures. How do you expect to rent your place with no pictures? Why would the okay, I'll move on. 900 still no square feet mentioned. 950 for a townhouse down here. All right, let's just say if we really wanted to rent this, we'd have to be under this number, maybe 850. So let's say 850 for now and just see what the numbers come out to. If we were able to rent this for $850 minus the mortgage payment, minus the taxes, minus the condo fee, every single month these are fixed. You will get that every month and you'll pay this every month and you'll end up with a profit every month of $209 plus you will have principal of $58 into your mortgage. You will end up with $267 per month. That is a great investment. So now you can take 267 times 12. That's how much you would make per year. You would be able to depreciate this entire condo, so you wouldn't pay any taxes on this income. Your tax accountant will show you that. And you divide this number because it's 3,200. It's almost twice as much as this number. So this is close to 20%. If it was 3,400, this would be 20% right here. This deal. We should buy this. Anybody should buy this condo right now. You would invest $17,000 and you would make $3,200 per year. So let's divide that by the 17,000 that you dropped into it. 18.8%, almost 20%. Now you take 3,200, I'm sorry, 17,000 divided by 3,200 per year, 5 years. You get your money back in 5 years, and you can buy another one, and you could have two, and then you could buy one more in 2.5 years, and then you could buy one more in 1.5 years. So when you're making 20% on your money, if you were only making this 142, you'd only be making 1,700 per year. I say only, but this is the minimum. I wouldn't make an investment unless it's at least this, and even then, I try not to because I'd rather spend my $17,000 on something that makes this number right here. So I'd be very interested. If you look at the condo now and you decide I'm going to have to, paint it, fix a couple things, you add up those numbers and add it in. You don't have to call it closing cost, but you got to add that cost in there because you're spending the money on renovation, so you're investing more money. So if it turns into $15,000, now you've invested this down payment and this $15,000 into this condo. It would increase the price probably because you made it nicer, hopefully by $10,000 or $15,000. But now you have to make $2,700 per year, and you have to make $225. But you can afford that in this and still make more. You're going to make 11 or 12% this time because this number is only a little higher than this. So you probably make 12%. This is still a very good deal, even if you had to put some money into it, because you're going to continue making this over 10%. And that is how you invest your money. Whether this is a good deal or not, I want to go back to the sale. Sorry. I think it was this one I clicked on. I want to go back to the price history, tax history, price history. Now this shows you all the prices. If you saw and you lived in your town and you saw that houses were going for 31,000 and then 35, 52, 46, 50, 60, and now it's 60, you might think, wow, this is kind of at the height. It's probably not a good deal. I could probably get this for 30. If I had just bought this back then, it would be so much better. But you don't have to look at any of the history. You don't have to look at charts in stocks or anything like that. You just look at the current price, take the amount that you invest. If you were able, so this calculation right here, this was a calculation before, but I don't know what happened. I must have undone that. But this is 20%. If you can figure out a way to only put down 10%, and you buy a place that doesn't need any renovations, and you only need 4,000 in closing costs, you only invested 10. Now you only have to make $83 a month, which is $1,000 per year, to make 10% on this money, but you're making 3 times that. 80 times 3 is 240. You're making 3 times that. That turns this into a 30% on $10,000. You'd be making $3,200 per year still, because these numbers are still the same. $3,200 per year times 3, and you almost have your money back. You make your money back in 3 years if you can figure out a way to put less than 20% down and not have any closing costs or any renovation costs. If you have, if you're trying to do a flip or something and you take something that needs a ton of work and you have to put $40,000 into this thing, or 20 is more appropriate, I guess, for a small condo, but $20,000 plus the low down payment, if you have a $12,000 down payment, now you've invested so much money. You are, go figure, you're making exactly what you need to make, 10%, but that's minimum. I would probably not do that deal unless I've been sitting on money for a long time, but I think you get the point. Go after these numbers. Don't worry about the sale price. Worry about how much you're putting down and how much investment money that you're going to be making every single year against the number that you spent. If you spend $10,000 out of your bank, you want to get that money back in 3 years, and this will do it for you. Thank you very much.